Tiffany. As I'm sure you can relate to, I'm still pretty stinking tired from Gen Con. I did a lot of not playing games. I probably should have played more games, but I didn't. I realize it can seem kind of odd to go to Gen Con and not play a bunch of games, spend all your time doing that, as that's kind of what it is. It's a game convention, but I play a lot of games anyway, and a lot of the games I just buy. So I wanted to go to Gen Con to have the convention experience, meet people, do things, and that's pretty much what I did. And I had a great time doing it. I saw some people every time I turn around, and I saw other people never. This stack is a stack of stuff that I bought. This little selection here is stuff that people gave to me for some reason. Bools. And this over here is stuff that I got for volunteering for AEG. So I got for myself, and I was super excited, Panamax. This is the one game that I wanted to go and get. The one game, and I got it. In fact, I have two, because the other one is for a convention near me, Lobster Trap. You might have heard me talk about it. I got that for them. The other game I got for myself is Dead of Winter. Yeah, I know I didn't pre-order it because I thought he pre-ordered it, but he didn't because he doesn't love me. I'm also not going to Essen for my birthday, but you know, whatever. Any takers? So, it came with the Handsome Colby, Kodiak Colby, whatever, still handsome, right? Right. And I got 5 tribes for the convention as well. I got Rhino Hero, which is a fun little hobby game. It was the one hobby game that was there that I didn't have, so I thought I should get it because it looked fun and silly and kooky. Oh, and then I got Chimera for the convention thing. And so then some people were handing out things. Michael Mendez, of course, was walking around, handing these things out. I backed this one, so now I have more. That's okay, maybe I'll give them away. Found Adam MacGyver, Vector, got 2 of those because I'm greedy. And then Ed Marriott's Mutiny game. It's just, this is gonna be in my wallet all the time, by the way. It's 4 players, it's all about taking over ship and then calling somebody out and just the shenanigans. The first line of the rules are you have to lie, accuse, and basically screw over. That's not the words they use, but that's what they mean. The people on your little crew here, the HMS Yeti. So that's always going to be in my bag because it looks silly and fun, and I like those types of things. So I volunteered for AEG, and man, I spent a lot of my time in the event hall, Hall B, teaching games. I ended up teaching Istanbul and Pagoda. I love Istanbul very much. I talked about it before on some other The Gathering Friends video, I think. And the Pagoda is pretty good. It does 2 players in a way that no other 2-player game I have does, and I have like 22 player games, so it's nice for that. A break from cards or dice or worker placement or, you know, whatever, you're building towers. So this stack is stuff that I got for teaching. Basically the way it works, in case anybody else is interested in it, you get some, based on how many hours I guess you work, you get a certain number, and using that number you can choose games, and you get a list of games that you can choose from. Obviously Doomtown Premium wasn't on there, which doesn't matter because I don't need something that you tell me is a collector's edition just because the fact you decide to print 100 of them. Anyway, this little stack over here was in the swag boxes for AEG Big Game Night. I guess there was 2 different types. Doomtown everybody got. And then these guys, well, I got in Tuesday afternoon, which I thought was good because I kind of got to walk around, get a lay of the land. I got sucked into making all the tables for AEG. So if you played games at the AEG booth, you're welcome for giving you a place to do so. After that, I went to dinner with a bunch of people. Was basically playing Joel's Shadow, but he didn't seem to mind. And then played Cash and Guns. That was really fun, the 2nd edition. I liked that a lot. Played that with Tom Vassell, and he may seem like a nice guy, but I'll tell you what, when he is in charge of getting diamonds or money, somebody gives him the Godfather title, a whole nother person comes to life. What else did we play? Then I went and played Dead of Winter with the Cardboard Jungle guys and Keith, and that was not a good game because Matt, 2nd turn into the game, both of his guys dead. That's worse than me. Come on. Well, so then the next day is Wednesday. That might actually be the Tuesday. Yeah, so the next day is Wednesday. What did I do? Wandered around, went to lunch with the weapons grade guys, ladies, couple, I'm not sure how they prefer to call themselves. Matt from Board Game Replay and his brother. We all went to the noodle place, which was good. I had Wisconsin mac and cheese, and it was delicious. And after that, I went and got this box of junk Wednesday night was the TMG thing where I met you. Well, before I met you, we went there together after we had met. Just so you all know, Tiffany is so cool that she couldn't even acknowledge me when when I ran into her first. Nope. She's like, I'm like, oh, how fortuitous we should meet. And she's all like, yeah, whatever. Like, who are you talking to? You, Tiffany. We went to the TMG reviewer thing, which was super great. Thanks you guys for putting that on. It was fun to see all the games and meet the people, I guess. Of course it was. And then I think that was really the last time I saw you till our event, which was Friday. So that thing was Wednesday, and then our event was Friday. I might have seen you in passing on Thursday. I don't know, but we were just so busy, and you were like actually really busy. I was just demoing. You were off doing all your... After that was the AEG volunteer dinner thing at the old spaghetti warehouse, spaghetti diner. I don't know, I forget. And then I went to the Dilted Kilt, and the Dice Hate Me guys were there, and that was super fun. Lots of silliness happened at that place, and that's good. Played the Eggs and Empires. I might have had a little bit to drink by that point. I also don't think I did very good at the game. That's okay. Thursday, of course, was Gen Con. Woke up, went to Gen Con, wandered around. Truth be told, I was out of there in half an hour with this stack of games. I just didn't have a ton of stuff I wanted to get. And then I had to make it over to the AEG hall so that I could demo Istanbul. It was lots of fun. I liked that. So then Thursday night happened. I can't talk to you about that on film. So Friday we had our event. I thought it went really well. Big thanks to everybody who did it. Big thanks to you. Big thanks to Steve. Big thanks to our volunteers. Big thanks to Isaac for recording it. Thanks to all the guys that were on the panel, because obviously without them we would have just had us in the front left to entertain them, and that's probably not a good thing. And in case you guys didn't know, we are going to be posting it on the whole event on our channel at some point. And the problem that our adventuring crew of reviewers had to solve was that Hulk Hogan had stolen the TARDIS, so they were sent to retrieve it, which of course they couldn't do, and general insanity ensued, but it was good and fun and funny. Saturday happened, more demoing, more going out. Sunday happened, more demoing, and then driving home-ish to at least Ohio. I was in Ohio before I stopped because I had 8 hours of sleep in 4 days. What do you want from me? But all in all, I had a great time at Gen Con. Although I'm sure that was plenty of rambling to last. This is probably like a 20-minute video. I thought I would ask the Twitterverse if there was anything they wanted to know about Gen Con. So I'm just gonna go down the list of names and people who had a request, question, whatever at this point. First question from Nicole Hoy at I Heart Museums. She wanted to know what game made me go grabby hands without even thinking. Well, when I was buying Panamax, I was talking to Bonacor, and he was telling me about Kanban, and so I didn't exactly go grabby hands. I went more throwy money-y. I want that game. It sounds really good. CO2 Vino Sky. It's all about car production, and I love cars. It might be horribly dry and boring and fiddly and whatever, but I just bought Panamax, so, you know. Sean from Smashing Plastic wants to know if he can come next year. Yes, you could either come of your own volition, Sean, or remember we had that plan. I was going to be like Mrs. Penny, Bottom, Money, Penny, whatever. You came up with aliases. Just send me a little email. We'll work it out, you know. Kyle Hendricks at KRobVW wants to know a couple of things, so he's awfully greedy with his questions. He wants to know what were the negative parts. It was super crowded, super crowded. Not so much like the first days, but definitely Saturday. Saturday was insanity. Like, I went to the event hall for like this long, and it was just crazy. What would I do differently next year? I would not volunteer next year. I loved demoing and stuff like that, but there are other things that I want to experience, be able to actually go demo some games that I would be interested in. Or just not have to wake up so early to do things after not going to bed till so late. Oh, and so I went by myself. I mean, I knew a bunch of people there, obviously, but I went by myself. I know a lot of people are like, oh, don't go by yourself, but I went by myself, and there was plenty of people to meet and say hello to. So if that was holding anybody back, I would say, don't worry about it. I'll probably go by myself next year. So what can the con do better next year? I saw a couple people talking about it, overheard them also. Organize the event hall a little bit better. Put board games in one thing, RPGs in one thing, because I mean you would go like random board game store junk, t-shirt booth, heavy Euro booth, RPG booth. Like it was a weird way to do it. They could do that better. They could ban strollers in the event hall, or not event hall, the exhibit hall. They could ban strollers in the exhibit hall. It's a very tight space in there, and you know, I feel for parents because I have 2 little kids of my own, but so there you go. Jeff Patino, Oso Hombre. Was there any game I saw that made me want to have it and that had never crossed my mind before Gen Con? Which is kind of linked to Jacob Kuhn's question, who's at Jacob Kuhn. What did I buy him? Nothing. But what game was on my radar that I came home with? Wasn't on my radar that I came home with? Well, I saw Rhino Hero, and I went over to the Habba booth specifically because I knew they were going to be there, and I love all their games for kids. If you have kids, you should get them. Great components and great learning things that go along with them, colors, shapes. This is all dexterity. You're building a tower out of cards, moving the rhino up the building. So I got that, and I didn't know about this, although my husband says I did, but I only listen to like 10% of what he tells me, so, you know, whatever. Chris Darden would like to know what drugs was Foxy Roxy on. I don't know, whatever make you think she was on drugs, Chris. Is ish an acronym? No, ish is not an acronym. As a matter of fact, it is a suffix. And hold on, let me pull it up. It means having the qualities or characteristics of. So now you know. Next question was, is a shaved head a good look? Well, for guys it might be okay, you know, but for girls there's really like only one way to find out, right? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to shave my head. Don't be ridiculous. All right, so Justin, you wanted to know about tips for next year. All of this, so this is our program. All right, this is what they're going to give you, this huge thing. And in the front, you're like, oh, look at that. Those are some nice ads and things. But then you get back here, which I'm sure you can't really tell, but you see how they have like the dividers? All of those things are days and events and times, and just, it's insanity. Like it took Hunter and me like 5 minutes to just find the Spooning Meeples event, and we knew what we were doing, and so it's just about as useful as the I don't know event website. But I don't know if the right answer is to tell you to get tickets to everything you want to go to, and if you don't make it, too bad. I mean, maybe that is, but then you might be like a guy that I met who had $40 worth of generic tickets left over by the end of Gen Con, and this was Sunday at breakfast that he tells me this. So he had all of that generic ticket stuff left. So that's not an issue. I would say figure that one out for yourself. Get everything and go to what you want, or risk having left over, or risk not having tickets to something that you do want. I don't know. Be prepared to walk everywhere, which is fine, I guess, you know, inside, outside. I would say stay close so that there's a place where you can dump all your junk without having to like trek it all over to wherever. One thing that surprised me that I wasn't really ready for was the amount of homeless people outside of the convention. It's not really something that's Gen Con's problem per se, but I was taken aback at it because, you know, I live in a small town in New Hampshire now, and even when I lived down in Tampa, which is where I lived until I moved to New Hampshire, there wasn't that many. Even New York seemed to have less homeless people. So if that's something that you're not used to, it might be something to just be aware of. Eating, you're not gonna eat. I had a bag of snacks like the first day or two, and then I didn't eat them, and by day 3 I'm not even carrying the bag around anymore. I'm like, whatever, I'll just eat when I can eat. But on the plus side of that, there's like a ton of stuff to do to eat food at that's not in the convention center. That's all right there, and it's all pretty delicious. There's a lot of nightlife stuff you can do. I mean, you can just stay in the hall all hours playing games, and in a lot of the hotel lobbies, there's games going on. There's games going on everywhere. But if you'd like a break from games and would like to go eat or drink or whatever, you can do all those things too. And it's funny because last year at Gen Con, I asked a question about, like, I tweeted it or whatever. Why do all the tweets at Gen Con stop at like 11 o'clock at night? Where's the seedy underbelly of Gen Con? I am 100% well-versed in that seedy underbelly now, so if you have any questions about things to do after 11 o'clock at night, I would be more than happy to answer them for you. Assuming that I can remember them all. So, yes, that is tips. Tips. Plan on having fun. You're going to have more fun than you plan on having. You're not going to be able to do everything you want to do, but you're going to love everything that you do end up doing. So that's the best thing I can tell you, other than to stay close, I think. And then Johnny Daw, who is at Pink, Our Movement. What was my star of the show? Honestly, it was meeting people. Like I said at the beginning, I wanted to meet people. I wanted to go and have the experience. I didn't really care much about games because games are my life anyhow. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about Aquasphere. I saw Aquasphere and it looks amazing. Not that there was ever any doubt in my mind, but really it does. And then I played also Scoville, which the dangers of having a shared Kickstarter account is that something that you back, your husband unbacks. So we'll be discussing that later. So meeting everybody was what was great about it. I met this one really interesting guy from Dubai, Matt. He's on Twitter at My Tabletop Cafe or Tabletop Cafe, one of the two. And he's in Dubai, and he's at Gen Con trying to figure out, make contacts for distribution networks because, you know, they're in Dubai, so they have to go to Europe, and all the stuff's got to come down through that, so it gets expensive. Is it worth setting up a distribution network? Or is it worth just having a little cafe and just breaking even? I don't know, but I thought he was very interesting and he was very nice. It was like so great to hang out with you that last day. I'm glad we like could hook up like that. And then it was weird for me too, meeting people, because they would come up to me and they would be like, oh my God, I follow you on Twitter. Or you're Rhiannon from Spooning Meeples. And I'm just like, I'm nobody. I'm just a girl who likes games, but hey, how's it going? And then, you know, I would talk to them, and it was weird for me, but I liked it because it was nice to know that people appreciate my crazy, which sometimes it isn't always obvious. But it really, like, that was my favorite part, was meeting. But yeah, I mean, because you can meet everybody, even people who you'll probably be friends with for like ever now. So totally worth it, everybody, for Gen Con, whether you're going for games or RPGs, which I played my first one of. I can't remember which one it was. It was about spies. I lost miserably because I was a leader and I was inept because I've never played an RPG before. Thanks a lot. So play games during the day, go out at night. That's what I'm shooting for next year. So that's what I did at Gen Con. That's what you guys can do at Gen Con. That's pretty much the gist of it. One thing is for certain though, you're gonna need a lot of sleep, which is what I'm gonna go do now.